Cards not recommended.
I mean, you got it, man. That's it.
Hi everyone, this is Miles, and I'm here with Josh. We're the co-founders of Credit for Dropouts, and we're just here to talk to you today about cards that we do not recommend. So I just want to go over a few things when you're trying to get good cards. These are the cards we don't want you to get because they suck.
Yeah.
So CAPL, Capital One. I call it Capital One when you're starting out because we don't like these cards.
Not necessarily because they're bad cards. There are actually some Capital One cards that are really good. The Venture is a really good card. However, we don't recommend getting these, especially right away, specifically because Capital One pulls from all three credit bureaus. So one application is going to give you 3 hard inquiries. So really, until you have all of your Chase cards, all of your Citi, Barclays, American Express cards that you have and you want, then you can go after Capital One. But highly don't recommend going after those first.
It's like one of those cards you'd be like, oh, I'll do that later.
Yeah, exactly.
The other one is Discover. I have a Discover It card, and with Discover you can apply once a year because all their cards are no annual fee. They have a lot of perks on them like categorical spending, which we'll get into that later. Subscribe.
There you go.
Once every 12 months you can get the next card.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, one of the reasons I don't like to go after Discover, the main reasons for me is because they look really, really good on paper. But if you look at the fine print and you actually use them, most of them have caps and they limit you on the amount of rewards that you can get, and you usually have to sign up for the rewards and you have to be active on it and stuff like that. So it's just, in my opinion, not really worth it. There are other credit cards out there that are much better. However, I did just apply for a Discover card 3 days ago and I got one, the first Discover card I ever got. I mean, look at how many cards I got before I got a Discover card. Get all these ones first and then start doing Discover. But again, it's like Capital One, just don't do it right away. We also got Credit One, which personally I don't have much experience with, but this was one that Miles said that he didn't really like.
I brought it up because they always send people letters in the mail that don't have the greatest credit, but they do a monthly annual fee of maybe $7 to $15 a month.
So it's a monthly fee then?
Yeah, so it's ridiculous. Just if your credit is that bad, don't get one of these cards. You're better off just fixing your credit before you do anything else.
Cool.
The next thing we want to talk about is these are cards that you don't want to get at the very beginning of your credit journey.
Yeah.
I'm just not very good at all. Department store cards like Macy's, JCPenney, you're not going to get a high limit. And are you really going to consistently spend on clothes? It's not very realistic. So those are cards we don't want you to get either.
Yeah. The only time I would ever recommend getting a department store card is if you're 18 years old and you have no credit history and you're really trying to just get something approved for. The very first card I ever got was this Macy's card right here. And the reason I got it was because my credit score was at a 580 or something like that, because the only thing that was reporting onto my credit report at the time was I co-signed on a car loan. My mom co-signed on a car loan for me, and that was the only thing on my credit report, and they gave me a 500 something. And then I went and I applied for the Macy's card and I got approved for that. So that's really the only time I would recommend one of those. If you're at a decent spot already, there's no reason to go after a department store card because they're going to give you no rewards, which kind of brings me to the next one, non-rewards cards. The whole point of a credit card is rewards. You want to get cash back, you want to get miles, you want to make sure every time you're spending a penny, you're getting something back. And there's a lot of banks that offer cards that seem really, really good, but they really don't offer you that much. For example, most banks like Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, they have credit cards that they target you specifically for balance transfers. So they say, hey, we noticed you had some usage sitting on your credit report. If you sign up for this credit card, we'll let you move that whole balance onto this credit card and we won't charge you interest. Well, okay, cool, but if you use our hacks that we show you, if you want to subscribe and learn how to hide your debt, then you don't need that because you won't be paying interest on your debt anyway, because you're going to be constantly revolving it around your accounts, so it won't be seen by the bureaus anyway. So that's why I recommend staying away from anything that doesn't give you any sort of rewards. It's got to be at least cash back or give you some sort of travel points or something along with it. Let's see, anything else you want to throw in here into this one?
A lot of non-rewards cards exist at credit unions. So I bank at a couple credit unions, and they all have credit cards, but nothing whatsoever.
Absolutely not. I actually have, this is my only credit union credit card that I have, and It does absolutely nothing. This was one that I got before I learned about credit and everything, and that was the credit union that gave me my car loan. So I figured, they'll probably approve me for that, which they did, and they gave me $500, and I've literally never used it because there's no reason for me to use it. So, yeah, stay away from those.
So just to go over cards we don't recommend when you're starting out. Maybe if you got all the cards you really want, go for it. But Capital One, Discover, Credit One, I really don't like them because they do monthly annual fees. So you gotta be worrying about a bill every single month. Department store cards, Macy's, JCPenney's, cards like that. And then the non-rewards cards. And if, like we're talking about again, if you have all the cards that you want and you're just increasing your total number of accounts, sure, get one of these cards. But if not, then
if you don't have this many credit cards, don't get any of these. That's pretty much the rule at that point. But yeah, that's awesome, guys. We'll see you on the next lesson.